Hello and welcome to another episode of Spoiler Appetite. I'm Tristan and today is going to be a solo show. It's just me. I don't have anyone with me today, so it's a solo show. So today I thought I would talk about Batman v Superman. I mean, I did talk about it just a little bit with my friend Olivia on the last episode of Spoiler Appetite. Go check that out. I mean, it's a really good episode. It's probably... well, one of my favorites. I mean, they're all pretty good to me. I mean, so I'm going to talk about Batman v Superman, and, I will definitely, since the Ultimate Edition is definitely out, I will talk about that, but for now, I'm going to talk about the theatrical release. I mean, as you may have heard in the last episode, I have seen this movie a total of 4 times in the theater. So I'm just going to get down to it. Overall, my overall impressions of the movie is I liked it. I wanted to love it as much as I wanted to when it was first announced. And, I don't know if it was just, if I had an expectation, which, again, when it comes to movies, I don't really go in with an expectation. I just don't. I go in with no expectation. I just want to have a good time. Show me, make me, make my money's worth is what I'm trying to say. So here we are, July of 2016. It has been 4 months since Batman v Superman came out, and overall, like I said, I liked it. I wanted to love it, but, overall, there are some things I just can't let go, even after seeing the Ultimate Edition. There are just a few things I didn't like. So we're definitely going to get into spoilers. So I'm just going to get right into the good. The good is Batman, Ben Affleck as Batman. I totally enjoyed it. He is definitely my favorite Batman as of now. And, I liked everything. I mean, sure, his suit is, all patched up, all muscular, but again, I like it, and I don't really care. That's not like it's not like he's vacuumed up. And, I like that he's like very bulky and whatnot, because I like my Batman big. I like him bulky and whatnot, and I can let people say, "Oh, he's fat" or whatever, and I'll give him that. I don't really care what people say. I mean, what matters to me is my own opinion, and people can have their opinions about whatever they want. It's not going to really affect me. I may disagree with your opinion, but overall, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm not gonna fight over your opinion, saying you're wrong or whatever. Because again, opinions are opinions. There is no such thing as a fact or whatever. So, Batman, he's awesome. Man, it's really hard to say what was good in this movie. I think performance-wise, everyone did great. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really to say. I mean, there was some definitely good things about it, like the parademons, the Flash showing up. I thought that was pretty cool, even though it was kind of confusing for most people who are not into comic books and are just here to see the movies. And, I totally get that. But for me, I thought that was pretty interesting that we get a glimpse. Like, this is our first glimpse at the Flash. And, say what you will, whatever the theories are, that wasn't a dream. He was actually, breaking the, coming into the or I don't know what it was, coming into the future or something like that. But I like that, definitely. I thought the suit was really interesting because it's not your typical Flash suit. It's very robotic and whatnot, which, I mean, I like it. I did see the little Flash emblem, the logo on his chest. I did see that. You can see it just a little bit. And, who knows who he was talking about. Was he talking about Darkseid? Was he talking about Superman? Was he talking about, Steppenwolf? Because, Steppenwolf is apparently the villain for Justice League in the Justice League movie. So, overall, performance-wise, most of the people did great. Like I said, there is some good things to love, especially if you know the comics and you get these references and whatnot. So again, there's not really much I can say about it. So another thing, yeah, overall, I can't really. It's so hard to think about the good stuff. I mean, there is some good stuff, like I said, but the bad kind of outweighs it. It's just like it's very hard to capture what's good. I mean, definitely the fight between Batman and Superman was pretty awesome, even though it wasn't that long. But overall, I liked it. And the Batman fighting sequence was pretty kick-ass. I mean, it's very badass. I mean, if you do have the Ultimate Edition, there is a little bit more action to it, just like a few more scenes to it. And, it was pretty badass. I mean, and here's the thing. Yeah, it's just badass. So I had to go into the bad, because, I mean, what can I really say? So, I had I now have 2 problems after seeing the Ultimate Cut. Originally, my first problem with this was the Lois Lane subplot. I didn't really enjoy it. I thought that was just a waste of time. She could have been given more, but after seeing the Ultimate Cut, that problem is gone, because it does show more Lois Lane. She has more to do with her investigation, how she's solving this whole bullet thing and whatnot. My second thing is the problem with it, which this doesn't really change my mind about this, but Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor now. From the moment I heard that he was casted as Lex Luthor, I originally thought, okay, they chose him because they must have seen Now You See Me, where he's not playing the stereotypical character that he always plays in most of his movies, where he's this shy, awkward character. And Now You See Me, he's more of a serious, he's an adult and whatnot. So I originally thought that's why they cast him, because he can do, serious roles. At least I bought into it. But, seeing it in the movie, it's not. It's just what you saw in the trailers. He's very goofy, cartoony, and it was mind-blowing. So, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get how hard it is to write a Lex Luthor that is serious. Like, he's a serious Lex Luthor. He's not goofy and cartoony and all this and awkward and everything. It's just like, why do they keep going back to, just the cartooniness? Why do they go back to, what Gene Hackman did with, as Lex Luthor? It's like, it works for that time, and he pulls it off brilliantly. Even now, even when I look back at this movie, it's like that fits in that world. And this, it's like, I don't like that. He's very blah, 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 all freaking crazy and whatnot. I don't like that. It's just like, I don't like. Look, it's the 21st century. Lex Luthor has gone through. We've had goofy Lex Luthor, but now we want something serious. We want a Lex Luthor that knows how to, is a genius and whatnot. And, with the Ultimate Edition, he's a lot better. You do see how he pulls those strings, how he makes everything come together. It still doesn't show in the Ultimate Edition. It still doesn't, reveal how he knows how Bruce Wayne is Batman. I mean, I know it's the one question everyone has, but again, it just doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, again, it's like, I don't understand how hard it is. I mean, it's like, we have the Bruce Timm version of Lex Luthor, which is very great, which is very on point of Lex Luthor. It's like you can look at that for inspiration to make the Lex Luthor you're going to build in this DC cinematic universe fit well into this. I mean, hell, if you didn't want to look at that, why don't you go look at some of the clips of what's his name, from Smallville. I mean, why not look at that Lex Luthor and just be like, you know, you can make your own Lex Luthor, but make him serious and don't make him cartoony, like I said, out of this world and very awkward and weird. So, again, that's just, I'm sure that's what we can all agree on. Yeah, it's just, I just don't get how hard it is to, it just doesn't make any sense. So, but here's my thing. I'm gonna let it play out. Because if the Marvel Cinematic Universe has taught us anything, is like, you know, as this universe goes on, the characters transition, like, they progress, they change over time, like Civil War, for example. I mean, we look at Iron Man, for example. He is not the Iron Man in, like, when we look at Iron Man in Civil War, he's not the Iron Man we know. He's not the same Iron Man from the first Iron Man movie. He is definitely all about the government and stuff like that. He's very, you know, he knows that he's messing up. He knows it's his fault. And then you look at Captain America, like, he's not the Boy Scout anymore. Well, I mean, he kind of is the Boy Scout, but basically, Captain America wants to do the right thing. And so, again, it's like, So again, I mean, you look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like I said, I'm gonna wait for it because I imagine my theory is that, you know, while he's not the Lex Luthor that we want him to be, that, you know, we all want Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor to be, you know, the more serious, more genius type and whatnot. Maybe I'm hoping that, and my theory is that maybe he will be the Lex Luthor later on in the DC Cinematic Universe. Because if not, and he's like this through the whole cinematic universe, I'm just like, you know what, just get rid of him. There's no point. If you're going to make this character, you know, this goofy and whatnot, and this like, very serious, this very serious cinematic universe, you know. I know that they're going with a lighter tone and Justice League, which, again, I'm all excited for that. Like, I don't feel tone was the problem with Batman v Superman. I feel it's just the storytelling itself. But again, you know, the tone for the lighter tone in Justice League, I'm not mad about that. Like, you know, change can be for the better or for the worse, and honestly, it wouldn't bother me. But again, when I hear about that lighter tone, just real quick, it kind of feels like they're gonna go with they're gonna capture that kind of, feels like they're gonna capture that style with the Bruce Timm Justice League cartoon, where it's a lighter tone and whatnot. And I if that's what they're going for, I hope it's good. I hope that's what they're going for, because that sounds pretty awesome. But as I said, with Lex Luthor, you know, he was one of my problems. Overall, I was just like, I don't understand why he's like this. I just don't get it. But again, I'm hoping my theory is right, where, you know, he will be the Lex Luthor that we all know from the comics or wherever, with the serious Luthor that we all know later on in the DC Cinematic Universe. So, there's that. But besides all that, and I'm going to take a sip of my sweet tea real quick, but my one complaint about this whole movie is the real reason why Batman and Superman fight. Like, the ideology, especially in the Ultimate Edition, you can definitely tell where Superman is coming from. When you watch that Ultimate Edition, you see where Superman's coming from, where he's like, I can't let this happen. Like, this Bat vigilante is branding these criminals, and while these criminals are being brand, they're going to be executed, and I can't let that happen. Whereas with Batman, you get why he's going after Superman. Like, he wants to go up against Superman because of what happened in Metropolis, and he just wants to get the job done and save all of mankind. But when you get to that fight, it's not even the case. It's Batman. It should be renamed Batman versus Superman. Whatchamacallit? Oh God, Superman. doesn't really want to fight him, doesn't really want to fight Batman, but has to in order to, like, knock some sense into Batman. So, again, just wow. Just to save his mom. It's just like, no, you were going there. You had a plan. You should have stuck with it. Because, I mean, again, when it comes to this movie, everyone likes to say, oh, this should have happened. This should have been, this movie should have came after so many more of DC's movies and stuff. And I say it can go either way. Like, it really can go either way. If you really think about it, it can go either way. This can be the starting, and it could be at the very end of this, later on in the cinematic universe. It's like, it could go either way. But if you're going to make a Batman v Superman, I want to see those ideologies colliding. There's a great episode of Daredevil on season 2. It's episode 3, and it's Daredevil and the Punisher just talking ideologies. Just ideologies going at each other, and it's a great scene. And I just don't get how you can go from that, go from, like, building all of that to, Superman is just trying to, like, make some sense into Batman, save his mom. Lex has my mom, and whatnot. It's just like, that's not what I wanted. That's not how I thought it was going to go down. But sadly it did. And, the Martha thing, yes, it's totally bullshit. It's totally silly. But I read a comment which, again, it made sense to me, and I know it's not going to make sense to anyone else, but, if you really think about it, and someone made the comment that the whole Martha thing, that why Batman stops, not to, like, he doesn't kill Clark Kent and stops him from killing him, is because he sees himself as Joe Chill, which, if he kills Superman, then Martha Kent dies, basically. And again, I thought that was pretty cool. I know that's not what they were going for, but again, it's whatever. But again, that whole ideologies colliding, it wasn't the case, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like they were going there, but they didn't know how to stop these two from fighting each other. And it's just like, why, if you're going to introduce Wonder Woman in this movie, why not have her break up the fight? I know people would be upset about it, but it's just like, come on. That would be pretty cool if Wonder Woman stopped the fight. That would be awesome. So, again, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. I do have a little nitpick with the ending, the death of Superman. Now, I recently read The Death of Superman, and honestly, that is a great example as to why you can't, for me at least, that's a great example as to why you don't transition a comic book to a movie. Like, you can't do everything in that storyline to do it in a movie. It's just, I don't think it just works, because if you read Death of Superman, I mean, the copy I have, basically, it's a volume. When it comes to collecting comics, I collect volume comics. And the volume comic of Death of Superman begins when Doomsday breaks out of his prison and ends with Superman dying. And honestly, there's little story. There is story to it, but mainly it's just Superman and Doomsday going at each other. And it's just like, that's a great example as to why you can't really transition. Like, can't have everything from the Death of Superman to a movie. It just doesn't work. But again, the death of Superman, it's just like, I get why they did it. I totally get it. You want to have Batman, Wonder Woman, bring the Justice League together. I get that. But it's just like, when it comes to the death of Superman, you gotta earn that. Like, for me, you gotta earn that. Like, seriously. There's no point of it. Like, you should have saved that up later on in the DC Cinematic Universe. It just didn't make sense. Just like, I want to feel that emotional attachment, because we've only seen this Superman once in his own solo movie. It's like, we don't have that connection, whereas to say, if Captain America died in Civil War, we would have had that emotional connection. So again, it's just, I don't get it. I don't really get it. It's just like, I don't get it, but, I understand what they're going for. And honestly, it's just a little nitpick, and, it is what it is. So, again, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. The theatrical release, not the greatest, but if you watch the Ultimate Edition, I do feel it's a better improvement, because you do see that beginning, that Africa sequence. There's more to the Africa sequence, and then you see Clark Kent going to Metropolis, and that was great. And there's more stuff to it. And also, what really blew my mind after watching the Ultimate Edition is there's more dialogue as well in the Ultimate Edition. And at the end, it really blew my mind when they're at the end where Batman and Lex are talking, and they drop an Arkham Asylum reference. Like, Batman's just like, Lex Luthor tells Batman, he's like, I can't be trialed, I'm technically insane. And Batman just goes, well, that's okay, because I'm having you transported to Arkham Asylum in Gotham. I still have some friends over there. And I'm just like, how the fuck are you gonna leave that out? Like, that's like, how do you leave out that? Like, that doesn't, oh my god, like, dude, an Arkham Asylum reference, come on. Like, what, why do you leave that out? That was just the coolest dialogue ever. That was, like, probably my favorite moment of the whole Ultimate Edition. Like, that, just, like, Arkham Asylum? Dude, don't leave that out. Like, come on, people. So, again, Batman v Superman, it's okay. Like, it's not the greatest DC movie ever. It's not better than The Dark Knight, like, as these early screeners people, like, saw it. Like, people who saw it early before actually came out in theaters saying that. It's just like, that's not the case at all. And honestly, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, I don't buy that at all, because it's like, to be better than The Dark Knight is an impossible task. There will eventually be a DC movie that will be better than The Dark Knight, but not anytime soon. So, what else? Yeah. Again, Batman v Superman. If you're gonna go see it, if you want to see it, I would recommend the Ultimate Edition. I know it's 3 hours, but I think if you've seen the theatrical release, try the Ultimate Edition, because it does improve on the movie better. So, again, what would I give the rate out of Batman v Superman? So, out of 5, I would give it 3. 3 as in, it's okay. So, yeah. So, getting away from that, I'm going to talk about Civil War. On a brighter note, Civil War. So, Civil War, I've seen this movie, I want to say 3 times maybe. I'm not sure, but this is what Batman v Superman should have been about. Just, heroes colliding with each other, having their differences and whatnot, and sticking with their differences and whatnot. So, what is there to say about it? Like, Captain America Civil War, I do feel that at the end of the year, it is probably going to be my favorite comic book movie of the year, because it lives up to the name. Like, it actually lives up to its name. It is actually a Civil War comic. And I was talking to my friend who, I went to go see Man of Steel with him on opening day, and we were talking about Civil War. I asked him about it. I was like, how did you love Civil War? Like, what did you think of Civil War, basically? And he's just like, I hated it. And I was just like, you hated it? I was like, why did you hate it? And he basically said he didn't like that it was about Bucky again. He didn't like that it was, it wasn't like the comic book storyline. He didn't like that. He wanted more background. He wanted more origin on Spider-Man, and I basically told him, when it comes to comic book movies, it's not, while it is it is about staying faithful to the characters and whatnot, but when it comes to, say, Captain America Civil War, it's like, just because it has the subtitle Civil War doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get the same story from the comic book. Basically, what I said is, like, they're doing Civil War, they're basically looking at their big picture, they're looking at their Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're seeing what they can do with it. They're basically doing Civil War, they're taking that concept and applying it to their Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, and I've read bits and pieces of Civil War, and it's just like, if you try and do everything in that comic book and try to do it in this movie, it just wouldn't work. Because again, there are characters that have not been introduced in this Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's overcrowded, and it just doesn't really work right now. I mean, say if they did have all those characters and whatnot, and then they do it, the actual storyline, then I feel it would work. But again, some things just don't work, other things can work. But overall, they're trying to see what will work for their cinematic universe. And again, they're just taking that concept and applying it to their cinematic universe. So, Captain America Civil War, for me, I loved it. After thinking about it, many times I think about this movie, there's not one thing I can't find that I didn't like about this movie. I mean, some people complain about the villain, and I honestly thought, the villain, while I will agree, he definitely wasn't needed, but again, he wasn't, I enjoyed him. I enjoyed what he was doing, he was going for. So, what did I love? I mean, obviously, differences and whatnot, and it definitely brings in that emotional, because we've had 8 years of these Marvel movies, and it builds up to it, and I love it. I loved it so much, and it's just like, as I was saying earlier, like, the Iron Man that is in Civil War is not the Iron Man from Iron Man 1, where in Iron Man 1, he was all about, forget the government, fuck them, like, I don't want to sell my weapons or whatever, like, I don't want to work with them. And, Captain America in the beginning is all about, working with the government, but as we see through the years with Iron Man, Tony realizes, like, hey, maybe I do need to be put in check, like, I am responsible for creating Ultron, and, I'm the cause of this problem. And whereas with Captain America, after the events of Winter Soldier, he knows what happens when you follow orders. Like, he knows when you don't decide to do the right choice. Like, people will, do, like, the government just screws you over, basically, and just doesn't want to, they don't give you that choice. Like, you don't have the freedom to do what you want. And, as Captain America says, what if they send us somewhere we don't want to go? Or, vice versa. If we want to go somewhere and they don't let us, like, what happens then? Like, we should be in charge of our actions. Like, regardless, people are going to die. I mean, but we're going to still save them. Regardless, like, there are casualties. So, like, yes, but we have to be the ones to do what is right. So, again, it's Captain America Civil War. Another thing I loved about it, Spider-Man, definitely. I mean, here's the thing. I remember hearing Spider-Man was going to be in this movie, and when the deal was made between Marvel Studios and Sony, I was very excited, but, as it went on, and we got the first trailer, and we see Black Panther, I was like, oh my god. And then, I guess, over time, I was like, I heard they were going to do younger Spider-Man, and I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so, when they revealed Spider-Man in the second trailer, I was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I love the suit. I really dig it. It's very classic 60s Spider-Man suit. But overall, I was just like, I've seen Spider-Man. Like, what can they do to honestly change my mind that can get me, like, excited to see Spider-Man in this movie? And after seeing Captain America Civil War, everything changed. I was just like, oh my god, like, this is Spider-Man as I, imagine him to be. He's just a kid, he's a teenager in his high school years, and he's having a blast. He's bantering about, and as Spider-Man, like, he's having a good time as Spider-Man. It's just like, it's so great, like, and I'm glad that they are doing, Spider-Man in his high school years, because, I mean, that's new. Like, I think we can all agree, anyone who's read the comics, we love Spider-Man when he's in his, like, high school years. Like, that's the greatest thing about it. So, again, it's very good. I mean, I've always said, I don't know how, if you're a big, like, hardcore Spider-Man fan, I don't know how you could hate this version, because it is like, they nailed him. They nailed the character really, really on point. Like, it's crazy. And, I'm honestly, I can't wait to see, his solo movie. I mean, like, yes, this is the Spider-Man I've, not wanted to see, but it's like, it's the Spider-Man I've always imagined Spider-Man being. He's a young teenage kid in high school, and he's amazing. Like, he's having fun as Spider-Man. So, but he wasn't really, while he had a great scene in Captain America Civil War, he wasn't the character that stole the show for me. Who really stole the show for me was Black Panther. Like, from the beginning, like, since you saw him in the first trailer, like, this dude means business. And when you see him in the movie, he means business as well. It's just like, it's so amazing how anytime someone goes up against him, nobody can stop him. Like, even when he's not having the upper hand, he still finds a way to come back and beat the shit out of whoever he's fighting against. Like, he is a force to not be reckoned with. And I couldn't be more happy about it. And honestly, he stole the show for me. Like, ever since I saw in the trailer, he lunges at Bucky's bike and takes out the back tire. And it's just like, oh my god. Like, again, this dude is not someone you want to mess with. And it's the greatest thing ever. So, hello. What else? So that's basically, thank you. So Black Panther, definitely the highlight for me, and I cannot wait to see his solo movie and whatnot. So, I mean, again, I to be honest, I would rather see this movie more than Batman v Superman, because it is definitely Civil War. It lives up to the movie title. Whereas with Batman v Superman, like I said, I liked it overall, but it's just, again, that there was no ideologies coming together when they were going to fight each other. It's just, but Captain America Civil War lives up to its name, and it's the greatest thing ever. And so, again, I mean, as I've said probably on this show, I like comic book movies. Like, when it overall, I like both. I like DC, I like Marvel. But if you had to ask me preference-wise, I'm DC. But overall, I love it. Just give me more. Just give me good storytelling. I mean, yes, we do have some couple of bad, Marvel movies and DC movies. And, but overall, it's just like, at the end of the day, we're all winning. Like, who cares who's winning? Because overall, we as the fans are winning. And that's what's more important than saying, oh, Marvel's winning, or oh, DC's winning. It's like, who cares? Like, we're winning. Like, what are you talking about? We are winning. The fans, the geeks, and we're all winning. I mean, look at the how much money they make from the box office. I mean, they make millions of dollars, and it's just like, keep coming more stuff. Even if you give us crap, just keep giving us more, because we don't want this genre to go away. I mean, eventually it will go away. Eventually it will go away. Maybe not forever, but it will go away, and then it'll come back. But just give us good and just entertain the hell out of us, the fans, and whatnot. So again, overall, it's just it's good to be a geek. So yeah, that's Captain America Civil War. If you haven't seen it, I think even if you're not into the movies and you don't want to watch all of those movies, all the other Marvel Cinematic movies, you can definitely start at Captain America Civil War, because again, it definitely plays out who these characters were back then. But if you really want to connect emotionally to this movie, at the end when Captain America and Iron Man are fighting, that was heartbreaking. I was just oh my god, especially at the end, because Iron Man, it's revealed that the Winter Soldier killed Tony Stark's parents, and that was oh my god, no, because I remember when they, Captain America and Iron Man teamed up at the end, and then I was just wait, aren't they supposed to be fighting here at this location somewhere? And then it starts playing out that scene as to what's gonna make Tony Stark snap, and I was just no, oh my god, no. And it shows it, and it's just oh my god. And people who had a problem with it, I don't know how you had a problem with that, because I mean, just put yourself in Tony Stark's shoes. I mean, Tony Stark has never, him and his dad never connected. It was only with his mom. And, he can never have that back now. He can never reconnect with his father. That, and you're telling me if you watched, your parents getting murdered by the guy that's standing right in front of you, you wouldn't want to kill him? Come on. Don't be heartless. Come on. You would do it too. And it's heartbreaking, especially towards the end of the fight between Captain America and Steve. It's just oh my god, this is intense, it's emotional, and I don't know how I feel. I love it, but at the same time, it's killing me inside. It's just oh god, stop. And at one point, when Captain Steve Rogers does finish off Tony, I really felt Steve was gonna shove the shield right into Iron Man's chest, and I was just oh my god. I felt he was going to kill him, and he does, and I was no, you just... And then he doesn't kill him. He's not dead, or whatever, and I was just oh, thank God. That was intense as fuck as it was. Holy crap. So, definitely lives up to the name. So, again, like I said, if you want to start watching these Marvel movies, and you want to start with Captain America Civil War, go for it, because... it does play out. You do get the sense of where these characters are coming from. But, like I said, if you want to get that emotional, level and whatnot, watch the other movies, because, especially seeing Winter Soldier, that's, ooh. I mean, if I had to rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, it'd be hard, because right now, oh man, my number one has to be Captain America Civil War, because it lives up to what it is. And so yeah, Captain America Civil War is my favorite. It's my number one. My second would probably have to be Avengers. 3 would be Winter Soldier. 4 would be Guardians of the Galaxy. And 5 would be the first Iron Man movie. So yeah, Captain America Civil War. Man, if you're into those Marvel Cinematic movies and you haven't seen Civil War, oh my god, you are so missing out. And I just spoiled it, and what is wrong with you? Come on. It's all about that. So, again, that's it for me today. I'm gonna, it wasn't a long podcast and whatnot. So again, those are my thoughts on, Batman v Superman and Captain America Civil War. So I would definitely say, go check them out. Even if you're one of those people who's I don't want to see Batman v Superman because the critics trashed it. And again, don't be one of those people. if a movie interests you, if a movie really like has this marketing video that, you know, you see this marketing trailer and whatever you see for a movie, go see it. Don't wait till the last minute where, you know, where critics trash it and you're just like, no, I don't want to see it because of that. Don't be one of those people. Like, help out the movie industry. Like, go see a movie because it interests you. Don't see a movie just because it has good reviews, or don't go see it because it has bad reviews. Go see it because it interests you. So again, go see those movies. So that's it for Spoil Your Appetite. I'm Tristan.